welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm an Welcome Empath, and I just like to do these little talks on how I feel about things, and depending on how I feel, I thought I'd go live today. Sure, why not? See if there are any same soul homies up having coffee, scrolling through their feed. I don't know. I guess he does this every time. You think I would choose my knowing over his? I just opened the door to look to see what he was doing, to make sure he was chill. I got the fan on in here because people are making noise and stuff, and they don't like it, so I'm trying to create as much noise as possible. Turn the TV up, close the windows and stuff, and he knows. He knows as soon as I start recording that he can freaking make a scene. It's Big Face Benny making a scene. Anyway, interesting. The synchronicities are, it's so exciting because I always get surprised still. I'm always surprised about stuff still. Stuff still freaking surprises me, and the synchronicities are so prevalent right now. It's just like, yep. All you got to do is allow, because if people really tried to rationalize that what a synchronicity is and not just allow it to be a synchronicity, and if you want to put the scientific stuff behind synchronicities and the reality of the situation is whatever, dude, that's imposing your will on stuff, and I can't do that because I believe in an all things possible universe, and what do I know? Anyway, went down the I like ant hole. I picture ant holes instead of a rabbit hole, because usually a rabbit hole is just one way, and ant holes, ant houses. We're just not an alien ant farm anyway. That's all Earth is. So have a picture a big old ant hill with all the possibilities of directions to go, and that's what the synchronicities led me to today. I'm not a fan of this day. I absolutely love what it represents. Freedom. It's just an idea. My freedom comes within, so I guess I should start acting like my freedom comes within. And it seems to be that if I have any kind of fear or apprehension of anyone that I come across, well, that's my perceived fear, apprehension. I wrote this post on Facebook this morning. It was interesting because the dogs got up this morning about 3:30 to eat breakfast, and I don't even try and find it, because if I try to pretend and go back to sleep, Benny's just going to lay next to me in distress and whine. So what do I care when they eat, It's their stomachs, not mine. I'm not going to tell there's something in there, and he was abandoned, so I'm not going to put him through that strife of reliving that vibration every time he gets hungry. So I just feed him, even if it's 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I did that this morning, and I also posted this on Facebook. I think about the people that other people don't think about. I consider them, because, if everybody's not happy, if only some people are happy, it's just not fair. So, I guess there was just an earthquake in Southern California, 6.4 right over Southern California. And then my buddy was just like, I was just blowing stuff up. And then, anyway, but I got to stay focused here. So what was on my mind this morning, it started out with this, again, I say, at 4 o'clock this morning. I love synchronicities, man. They're rad. Celebrate the freedom to glorify and pose conflicts and making messes out of people. War does weird things, and when they bring their twisted mentality home, they medicate with your prescription pills and booze to numb their pain, only to be reminded again when you blow up your stupid fireworks. My dogs hate them too. Remember, there were no weapons of mass destruction. The reason for the last attack: conflict, war. 6 million for a costly, egotistical game of chess. You be proud. I gotta go get water from my toilet with the bucket, veteran for a peaceful earth. Yeah, I tell my water story in other videos. Not going to go into that today. But the whole point of me sharing that, there were no weapons of mass destructions. Later, I'm browsing through, because you got to go into the places to get data, to find the little ant hole nuggets. And so I'm scrolling through, scrolling through Facebook, and I come across an article about how aspartame, I know aspartame is terrible, terrible stuff. Terrible, terrible. Aspartame, it's just, but anyway, this article talks about how aspartame turns into formaldehyde and methanol in the body. And then I was thinking, instantly, spontaneous combustion. Maybe that's how. Maybe somebody's, maybe that's how body chemistry, because, everybody's body chemistry is different. So you don't know what you put into you, how it's going to react. But some people do, and they don't care anyway. So the interesting part about this is where it gets interesting. So I start looking up aspartame, because I know about formaldehyde. And I did a video called To the Veterans, and my experience and what I found out, because they put formaldehyde in, as a summary, they put formaldehyde and they put those in the anthrax vaccines that I got 6 of. It feels like freaking the bite of a wasp. I mean, it freaking burns. I even asked the lady, why does my arm feel like fire? Oh, it's on fire right now? Because I've had a lot of shots in my life, but this is not like anything I've ever experienced. She's like, oh, it's because they're stored in formaldehyde. Oh, okay. And then, and I talked about how their formaldehyde story, about how it's been, there's stories linking it to causing ALS. So way to bring back that ice bucket challenge. Yeah. Anyway, so when aspartame actually was when it first was born in 1977, a man rallied, make it legal. Sugar's bad for you. Aspartame's the way to go. It's a substitute, No, wait, aspartame. I'm confusing an ephedrine. I'm confusing it with the other ACE inhibitor. Give me just a second. Aspartame. Just to be clear, it's a low-calorie sweetener. Okay, it is. So they tell you sugar's bad. Sugar's bad. Take something from the earth, process it. Something that's natural. But they're going to tell you that something that's made by crazy scientists in a lab is bad. Well, here's the interesting thing: is aspartame was made by a company called the Searle and Company, Searle. Now, the CEO and president of that company was the same man that rallied for the FDA to legalize it. Rumsfeld, that Donald Rumsfeld guy. Yeah, same guy. He said, no, push for this. And you know what? He's also the same guy that said, and I quoted on my, this is where it all gets interesting to me, is he's also the guy that said that there's weapons of mass destruction, and that there was threats of anthrax, and that's why I got my shots. Formaldehyde keeps picking up, and these storylines. See, now he was a poli-sci, political science major, and I know people that go to political, and people that are political scientists and go that route, they're very smart, they're very cunning, they're baffling, because they're very self-serving. Their egos get all out of control, and then, before you know it, people that are public servants, that are supposed to be just like this, or, make 300% more than the median and stuff like that. It's all out of control. But isn't that interesting? He was later kicked out of the good old boys club. All the old generals, we don't want this guy, man. He's freaking crazy, man. He likes to poison people, and that's just twisted, And that company, that CD Searle and Company, was later bought by Monistat. My mouth doesn't even want to pronounce it because they're so evil. Monastero, whatever. So yeah, that Donald Rumsfeld was the CEO and president of the company that pushed for the FDA to legalize on a wide span aspartame. Yeah, and then later he's the guy that said, "Oh, there's a threat. They did this," and then they wiped out all the historical, the history of the nation for them, wiped them out. And his response was, "That happens. That is a low vibrational human being." Yeah, see, and part of what I like to do here is I just like to share information, and if people want to follow up and look it up, stuff like that, they're welcome to do it. But it's just, I was more excited about the synchronicities because a lot of the history I never paid attention to because I was, busy living life and spending money on stuff I didn't need and stuff like that. So it wasn't until I learned to get quiet and to just kind of follow my knowing, and it's when things started getting interesting. I was a lot of people are starting to recall historical events in their own personal lives or in the timeline of their own DNA. And a lot of people's heritage, lineage is waking up. Ran into a gal at the bank the other day. She had arrows, like bow and arrows, all over her blouse. And I was like, "I like your top. I'm Native American. I like to shoot bows and arrows. I'm pretty good at it." She's like, "Yeah, it's just something new to me lately." I said, "Look into that. Something's telling you to look at you. That's a calling. When you start doing things that are different than you did before, it's a calling. You got to look into that. You never know where it's going to lead you." I started listening to it. I like the Ozark Publishing Tube. They talk a lot about UFOs and stuff like that. And I always believed it. I believe that because I've always had more accounts of that than any other accounts that were posed upon me by religion, So I just saw things in real life that, people always try to discard. And that's why I think I'm really cut out for this stuff, is because I always believed in me over what other people told me to be true. When I tell them the accounts of things that happened, no, that isn't true. It is. I'll just quit talking because I'm not trying to convince you anymore because of what I already know, And then, so this kid, I can't remember his name. He's got a big tube. He's got like 42,000 or something. I don't know. The UFO Hub, and they have a conference down in the Ozarks, Arkansas. Incidentally, which is kind of ironic because I guess on my grandmother on my father's side, she's from Arkansas. Maiden name Walton. Yeah. Don't know if there's any relation or not, but I don't know. There are a lot of Waltons from Arkansas. From different families. Who knows? Anyway, so this kid on the I don't know, I was planning on actually talking more about him, and then I tied up with this whole Rumsfeld thing. But I just thought it was and there's and that's the thing is I thought that they weren't allowed to do these spectral interest things, and the whole time that's what they've been doing, and they're like people that take from other people in any kind of way, energetically. God, they're the worst, especially the ones that act like they're freaking doing you a favor. You know what I mean? The real sincere ones. I think that's why I just study people. I've always just studied people and the things that I've collected about people. It just reminds me that and they're no different than me. They're no different than me. I fundamentally get how we're all connected. Maybe that's why I was bringing up this kid on the UFO Hub. All these people are dabbling or are trying like psilocybin medicine and ayahuasca. I did freaking all kinds of that stuff when hallucinogenics. I started doing it when I was 15. Things like that until I went a more spiritual route, and then I got sober, Then I started studying about Carl Jung and psychology and all that. Then I started learning about electricity and all this other stuff and how it all tied together and vibration and frequency. And I was just, where does this stuff come from, man? It comes from all of us, because that's what information and data is. It's stuff that we all know, and we're never going to find out if anything is 100% real, perceived, It's what you align with. Listen to you. Listen to you. What's right for you? If something feels good to you, do it. As long as it doesn't impede progress on anybody else, you can't take anybody else. You can't insult people to make yourself feel better. If you quit smoking, you can't be a jerk because you feel bad about your body detoxing. It's called acting better than you feel. I hate it. I don't do it. I don't know what I'm telling you to do. Don't do it if you don't want to. But sometimes people have to act themselves into feeling better. Days have been energetically rough for me the last couple days, and so I'm freaking trying to listen to music more. I've been doing this a lot because I just told somebody today that it's like I don't want any trouble, but my mouth does. So I know that you just gotta allow for everything. Whatever I love, they can do whatever they want. Tucker's scared. He gets up and pees on the floor. I just clean it up. Got my simple green spray bottles all over the place. My cleaning stations, just clean it up. It's the resistance that people are finding. That there's, and then they short out. You know what a capacitor is in a computer? Inside they have capacitors that if it reaches a certain point that they burst to keep other parts of the system safe. Right? We have these capacitors in our mentality. Thing is people set themselves up and put them in these little boxes. They put them in these little boxes and they keep out all the scary stuff. And anytime somebody brings something up that's outside this box, they just ignore it. Whether it's doing terrible things to kids, animals, other human beings, it doesn't matter. It's not real. It's not real. But while that happens, that vibration and the people that makes them do that just grows and grows because nobody's looking at them, because nobody wants to address it. Till now, more and more people are addressing things, and I commend the brave souls that are trudging through the pains and the hurts and the fears and the sorrow. You just try every day. You keep trying. I hope you have a rad day. Peace.